How could the University of Toronto accept a gift from the Massey family to erect a recreational and cultural facility for men that excluded women? That's the way it was. It just wasn't fair. And I wasn't going to stand for it to the extent that I could do something about it.
Here at the University of Toronto, one of Canada's greatest universities,
it was absolutely thrilling to be allowed to go to university. In that time for a young woman was rare. The first day when I came down to university, we lined up to get all your paperwork. It was quite an exceptional day for me. I was going to make the most of it. I loved my university years, but I wasn't really aware of the extent of inequality suffered by women generally in society. I just knew that I was fortunate.
the Debating Society, enlivened at many of its meetings by noted guests from the political world.
A friend of mine said to me, "There's this debate going to happen at Hart House," and John F. Kennedy was a guest speaker. And I said, we should attend. We were young university students and we wanted to partake in everything. And she said, "Didn't you know women can't attend Hart House?" I was just in university for a couple of months at that point, so I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge. But when I saw it, I had to do something. I had to do whatever I could about it. We met the warden of Hart House. He lived in Hart House at the time. We weren't asking to open up Hart House to women. This was an important debate. If women can be invited to one debate, why not make it this one? And he said, absolutely not. I felt like I had my head patted, like, there, dear. And we left, and I wrote a letter to the editor of the Varsity. And I concluded my letter by saying, "Women, let's get together and fight." That night it was raining. We were right under the window. We later learned that the people inside could hear our chanting.
From your spokesman at that time.
We had signs that might be seen 20 years later, but was nowhere in 1957. I'd never even heard the word feminist at the time. Somebody took a photograph that shows a sea of men at that debate, and that really said it all. We marched back and forth through the whole debate. They knew we were there. John F. Kennedy even reflected on the fact that we were there, and good for you guys keeping the women out. That's him. That got a good memory. There he is. I would say to him, it's part of the life of your times. That's what you were living, and you were part of an organization that had certain rules. But you had the right to be flexible, and you weren't flexible when you should have been. We came nicely, we came quietly, we came respectfully to ask for admission. We didn't have a revolution. We simply asked nicely. You should have seen the handwriting on the wall and done something about it. It took 15 years after the debate evening before Hart House opened to women. More and more women entered university.
And certainly not in this
Well, what about freedom?
Then more and more women said, we want to use the pool. We want to come to the music room. We want to have a dinner in the Great Hall. It's to the credit of the university that they did something about it. Women are now full participants in Hart House. I try and urge people to always stand up where they can to make positive change. We were here at some event that was taking place in the debates room, and the speaker's chair was there, and I said, oh, what a lark. Yeah, here, take a picture of me, because it was like coming back to the scene and sort of claiming rights of ownership of some sort.